I go to investors and try to pitch out my idea and all. I will pass all the stacks except on how are you going to monetize it? How are you going to make it sustainable? Is your idea just on PowerPoint? Do you have a prototype? What do you have? And that is the stage that every time used to kill me. So I went on, and as I'm telling you how I went is the advice that I'm already giving you, so be keen. So what I did is I did a lot of research. So I had no idea how tech spaces work. Entrepreneurship in tech is not like other entrepreneurial activities, like you sell products or you do manufacturing. So there are aspects of how an app or what can make money. So the aspect of maybe subscription, you're doing it through advert, and it used to disturb me, like how do these apps make money? How does WhatsApp make money? How do Instagram make money apart from selling people's data? So the first advice I'll give you, before you go to face an investor, do a keen research of your idea, because your idea could have a great social impact, but the investors are looking on how is it going to be sustainable. So if you go and approach them and you're not clear on this part, they'll still return you to the drawing book, the drawing table. So another thing is, another question that they ask is, what have you invested on it? Because tech, entrepreneurial and coming up with tech business and startups, we all know that it's usually very risky. We don't know if what we put in will actually give us a return. It's always a risk game. So the investor to trust you and to see that it's going to be applicable, you have to show an effort. Just don't go there with a manila paper or a PowerPoint and you want them to invest either their time or money on it. So what you do is that before going there, try to either invest on time or invest in your skills. Do something, do a prototype that shows that you are serious in your project or idea. Because idea is just an idea until you make it to a reality. Another advice that I'll jump on, I have a lot of advices, but because of time, what I'll jump on is dare. Girls, just dare. That's one application. That's one application. Don't mind. I used to apply to applications that used to say 25 years and above. Like, I don't know, they don't trust that we also can come up with good ideas. At that point, maybe I was 20, and I will still write those essays explaining what's my thing, my startup or an idea. So there, go there, try, fail, go back, do research and all. I know a question might come from the audience, so to come up with startup or what is expensive and you don't have the money to do it, but realize you have a community around you with skills that you do not have. Before you go to someone investor or a big person, have you seek investment in your group? Have you, like, do you have a friend who knows certain skill? Have you collaborated to come up with? So to finalize is believe in yourself, know your self-worth, be confident, do research, and also do not stop dreaming. Thank you.
That was great advice by Ms. Karani. So we're going to move on to Ms. Julie. What do you think the gender disparity is like in the drone tech space? And what are the potential solutions to bridge this gap?
Okay, so I think there are two main areas where there are challenges and what causes like the gender disparity within the space. And number one is in awareness. So I understand it's a fairly new technology and it's, being newly implemented in the country or even across Africa. But there's a bit, with a bit of research, you can learn a bit more and you can kind of see where, you can gain opportunities. So the global drone market is estimated to be around $20 billion as at 2022, with a compound annual growth rate of 13% between 2023 and 2030, which tells you that it's a growing industry, right? So this should be a place where people would be ideally looking at opportunities to tap into. But because there's no awareness of it, then you find people don't really do that. So I'm just here to tell you that opportunities are there, and it's not just for drone flying, but in so many areas. If, let's say, as we've said, women are usually not interested in STEM areas, but there's a drone ecosystem that people are not aware of. So there's drone writing, drone education, there is marketing, and things like that. And people are doing quite a lot on social media within this space. So what I'd urge guys is to just get that awareness, yeah? And the more aware you are, the more you can kind of find opportunities springing up for you, yeah? That's number one. Number two is on the cost of training. So I understand, education is expensive, especially good education. But yeah, we have to start looking at education as an investment. I've just mentioned the potential of the industry to grow, and the way it's growing and what it's estimated to grow to within the next few years. So what we're doing within the Julie Makena program is we offer like lower rates for women to join the space. And one thing that I'd really like to, I'm happy to announce here is that our RPL training course is charged at 150,000 shillings. But under the Julie Makena program, what we're doing for anyone who is interested within this event, we'll shave off 50,000 shillings and offer RPL training at 100,000. So please reach out to us on our Astral Aerial website or on our social media pages. Just mention that you are at Pwani Innovation Week or at Swahili Port Hub, and we're going to make it happen, yeah? So those are the two areas, awareness and cost, among all these other challenges with cultural issues and traditional issues, yeah.
Thank you so much. So to summarize, maybe you can start from Ms. Jimia. I have one pressing question for all of you, ideally. And it's what strategies can women employ to gain more visibility and backing in the male predominant investment scene, or rather tech scene?
I think first of all, even to prop yourself as an entrepreneur, you first have to have the right paperwork before anything else. Because when it comes to business, I don't think there is ever, when it comes to the output at the end of it, nobody ever cares whether it was delivered by a woman or by a man, because the output speaks for itself. But for you to get there, you first have to have the right paperwork, your documentation, whether it's your tax compliance, because those are key across, I think, all kinds of business. You have to have the right paperwork, documentation, and even when it comes to now even financing, when you come even to the bank, they have to look at certain aspects, because as we know, it's harder for banks, for example, to invest in businesses. It's much, much harder for them to invest in women-owned businesses. Because sometimes people just assume, I'm running a business, I'll go to the bank, I'll get money. But then they start asking you so many questions, and before you even produce all the documents, it's like 6 months down the line, the opportunity that you had won't wait for you, it will be gone. So I think it's for us to make sure we have the right paperwork from the beginning, and even develop the right structures in business. Because we are talking about businesses that are sustainable. You want your business to outlive you. I'm sure anyone in business will want the same thing. You don't want to have your business 10 years from now, you can't even remember what you did 2 years ago because that project, that business died, and maybe you became bankrupt. So for us to have that, we need to have proper corporate governance from the beginning, try to develop that from a very early age. I think even as a startup, the younger you are, it's easier to develop those governance structures so that when the business grows, it grows into the structures. But what we see is people start businesses, then 5, 10 years down the line is when you remember, oh yeah, I need to have this structure. Sometimes it's too late, it might cost you much more, but it might be easier to actually start it when you're just starting up. So I think that's one thing that as a business, no matter what business you're running, you have to have the proper structures, proper documentation, and also we need to seek the right mentors. For me, like I think what has worked very well for me in my space is seeking the right mentors in business, whether it's a man or a woman, somebody you can look up to, somebody who has walked that journey before you, because what it does, it actually shortens your process of, it shortens your learning curve. Because what can take you probably 5 years, you can maybe do it in 2 years. So why struggle for the 5 years because you want to prove a point? I always say I don't have to reinvent the wheel. If somebody did it very well, I'll copy exactly what they did for me to get to the other end. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Maybe Ms. Ilhan, we can be a bit brief. 3 sentences.
Yeah, so I would like to emphasize on your brand. Whether if you are an individual running a startup, you should focus on your personal brand. What are you focusing on? What services are you providing? Who are your target audience? If your company should be branded well. Other than that, I believe you should use social media is key. You hear some people say, I do not have enough resources, I won't get that, I won't get that, all in social media. The more people see you, the more you're vibrant, the more you shout, the more you're going to get noticed and you'll find all your resources.
So for me, I will go with be unique in whatever you're coming up with. Even if you're coming up with something that it's already there, try to find a unique aspect or how you improve things on it. And also there's this aspect where tech entrepreneur, the cases of, he stole my idea, that was my idea, I had the same idea of it. Just know that ideas are ideas until they are brought to reality, and do not sit back and say now that it is gone, then I'm done for it. Just know if you were the real person behind that idea, no one will do it better than you. So what you do, stand out, make it more unique, and go on with your own things. Also, for tech entrepreneurship, it's not all about startups. Also know there are freelancing opportunities out there. Look for them. If you have that one skill, do not sleep on it. Go, try, find clients, do it. As you're doing it, you're still learning. You're learning more and more as you're getting your own money. That is the part of entrepreneurship in tech. Also, the agencies that are taking contracts from people, that is also entrepreneurship. Just to do something that you're not waiting for monthly basis, but whatever you do that brings you money, it's tech entrepreneurship. So thank you.
Okay, so for me, I'll speak from a position of, from my experience in the drone space. 2 things, or rather, one thing that's complemented by something else. So education. Let's not just shape. Let's not just shave off ideas just because you don't understand it, or you don't have very deep knowledge about it. Everyone has to start learning from somewhere, right? So educate yourself. But as you educate yourself, also be self-aware so that you can understand what is the unique value that I bring into this space, and what is a unique opportunity that only I can identify because I'm the one who can solve this problem, right? So I'll tell you, LinkedIn is such a valuable resource. I know that a lot of people do not know much about all the amazing things that guys are doing with drones across the world, but LinkedIn is such a valuable resource. So if you look at the Kenyan women and what they're doing within the space, you'll be able to learn. You'll be able to open up your mind. We have people who are doing very tech-heavy, industrial applications, like security monitoring. You have people who have businesses in in environmental management, providing sustainable solutions. People in wildlife, people in humanitarian applications. It's a lot. And some people even have they're getting opportunities in international companies. and our Kenyan ladies, yeah? So the first step is, yes, educate yourself, but also be self-aware so that you can understand the unique value that you bring.
Thank you so much to our dear panelists. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you so much to our listeners. You have been paying attention. I've been looking at you guys. But yeah, thank you. I think we're done. So I'll invite back the MC.
You give me enough love and enough affection. Girl. You're always paying attention. Woman, I'm so proud, girl, to be your lover. You love me nicely till I lose my control. I will never, never, never let you down. I will stand by your side till the day that...
Naomba tafadhali tuwapigie makofi mazuri kwa kazi nzuri ambao wamefanya. Bado. Tena. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies. And as of course, we want to appreciate you as Pwani Innovation Week for being here and for creating time and for the amazing work you're doing in the tech space. As women, sawa, thank you. Naomba tafadhali to appreciate.
Cause you're so beautiful.
Yeah.
Woman, you're so wonderful.
Yeah.
Woman, you're so peaceable.
Yeah.
Woman, come with me. Let's get tonight. Woman, you know, man.
Don't go back. We have a group photo. Don't go back.
Yeah. Woman, you know, bootyless.
Yeah.
Woman, come with me. Let's get tonight. Woman, you're nice in the world. Ain't no girl like you. African girl, #1 queen, cause you're sweet, you're smart, baby, give it to me. If they take you away, I'll die for you. Flowers go through rain, our love through pain. I'm the black of the berry, the sweet of the juice. I say not the dark of the skin, the deep of the flesh, woman. Oh, Nana, I want you now, cause you're so beautiful.
Thank you so much. Okay, for the group photo, I would like to ask a mentor, and of course our chief guest, because you did that for the first panel, I want you to do that again in this panel as well. Naomba tuwapigie makofi wanapokuja hapa mbele, because these are their mentees. And this particular group of people, of women, is of their interest. Thank you so much. Asanteni sana. Oh, karibu sana. Oh, that's good. Thank you.
Till the day that I die, you love me nicely till I lose my control. You give me enough love and enough affection. You're always paying attention.
Asanteni sana, tuwapigie makofi wanaporudi kuketi. Thank you so much, Women in Tech, for the amazing conversation that we just had. And thank you so much, Ruth, for the amazing organization of this particular group of people. We don't have a lot of time. We are actually running behind schedule with like an hour. But then, mimi niko na swali moja tu